So time now to sit back and enjoy our first action of the evening. It's Feyenoord against Celtic in the Europa League with James McFadden and Liam McLeod.
Good evening from a soaking wet and bitterly cold Rotterdam, the second biggest city in the Netherlands, and Celtic are in town in desperate need of points if they are to achieve their target of qualifying for the knockouts of this season's tournament, having done so in the Champions League last term. It'll be the fourth meeting between Feyenoord and Celtic following their two Champions League group games a couple of seasons ago. It was a difficult night for them when they were in this very stadium in De Kuip, as they were beaten 2-0. Lagerbilke and Holm were both sent off when they were 1-0 down. Scales, Hatate, McGregor and Maida all started that night. They all start tonight as well. Schmeichel in goal, Donovan, Trusty, Scales and Tierney at the back, Engels, McGregor and Hatate, McCowan and Yang supporting Dyson Maida as the main striker for Celtic tonight. They'll need him producing last season's form as they try and build on the 4 points they've already managed to accumulate. Feyenoord, they're a point worse off. Despite recently being in a European final, they were beaten by Roma in the Conference League showpiece in 2022, the inaugural final of that tournament. They were beaten narrowly in Tirana, and Robin van Persie's side, having lost the last three, are not in the best form or best place to come into this one, as they look to also get into the knockouts. But it's getting to the point where the longer you go without a victory, the less likely that is going to be. Hillenreuter, the big German, goal for Feyenoord. Back four of the Swiss, Latomba, Ahmed Zojic inside beside Watanabe, and Small over on the other. Targelin, Stein and Valente across the middle, with Musa and Zauer either side of Feyenoord's own Japanese striker, Ayase Ueda, who will lead the line for them. Sebastian Giesheimer of Austria is in charge. He has taken charge of a Celtic game before when they beat KR Reykjavik 6-0 in the qualifiers in August 2020. And the ref is just making his way along the halfway line. The two sets of players either side of it. The Celtic players going into their huddle with the green and white hook shirts on, white shorts, white socks. Feyenoord wearing their famous red and white tops with the black shorts. I mentioned those two games in the Champions League a couple of seasons ago. The only other meeting was that famous 1970 European Cup final at the San Siro in Milan, when they beat Jock Stein Celtic, including 7 Lisbon Lions who started that one after extra time. Celtic were favourites going into that final, and were left disappointed. It's not quite on that level, of course, here tonight, but important nonetheless. And it will be the Scottish champions to kick off as we watch the swirling wind and rain between us and the pitch, and Celtic go right to left, and it's passed back to McGregor and then out to Kieran Tierney on this near side, and to Scales, who squares it to Trusty. They need James McFadden to settle quickly.
Yeah, they do. Go off to a fast start, which they look like they've done.
Yeah, Maida's trying to get in behind here, inside the box, right hand side of it, the back heel. Celtic tried to make inroads here, but the eventual route forward for Luke McCowan was closed off. But that was really promising start there, as Tierney picks up on the left this time, gets his cross in. It's cleared by Ahmed Hodzic, and into the midfield it drops. Celtic have started well, having not really turned up to the party in Paisley on Saturday night, albeit they picked up the 3 points thanks to that stunning late McGregor goal, as Feyenoord's long ball was all the way through to Trusty at the edge of the Celtic box and back to Scales. But it just looked like it was going to break beautifully for Dyson Maida inside the Feyenoord box there, James.
Yeah, he does well initially, because he's beyond the plate. He manages just to get his toe in and win the ball, but just doesn't fall kindly. Look, McCown's trying to, then drive in off that right hand side, but just as you were asking what they needed, I was saying a fast start, and I had to stop talking to let you tell everybody what was happening. And that's ideal, because the couple of passes at the back, then it's a forward pass, then it's a pass into the box for Maida from the right hand side. He manages to get and keep it alive, which allows McCown to then come off that side and try and create something. So I think that's the way Celtic need to go. They need to be aggressive. You can see them now. Feyenoord knocking the ball about. They've been aggressive. Maida pressing, Hatate's up high, Engels is in up high as well to try and stop them from playing through. And look, that won't always be the case because it's hard to sustain that for the 90 minutes, but I think it was the ideal start. You need to remember as well, Feyenoord are, coming off the back of a dreadful result for them at home at the weekend domestically against NEC Nijmegen. So you have to go and enforce that, make them remember it, and if Celtic can take the lead here, then it'll be interesting to see what Feyenoord do. But it's massively important that Celtic don't concede the first goal for me.
It was a 4-2 home defeat to NEC at the weekend, which was their third in succession. They lost the go-ahead Eagles as well as Stuttgart in this competition. Haven't lost 4 in a row since 2016 as Celtic tried and inflict defeat on them tonight. There's a big switch of play out to this near side as Feyenoord flex their muscles really for the first time in the match. It's collected here by Hadj Moussa, rolls it back to Latomba. He's a bit level with the edge of the D of the Celtic box, and he rolls it back to Ahmed Hodzic, former Bosnian international's ball that's been slipped out wide left there, and Colby Donovan gets a good touch onto it, read it well, covers across and knocks it off his opposite number and behind for the goal kick to Celtic. There were no tickets left for this game tonight. It is a sellout, but it is important to note that the standoff to our right is completely closed. That is due to a fan ban caused by fireworks in their victory over Ferencvaros in this competition a couple of match days ago, so they were punished with the stand closure, and that is behind Kasper Schmeichel just now in this first half as Tierney picks up a throw-in on this near side. He's going to bowl it up the line potentially here to Yang, then changes his mind and field to Hatate, flicks it forward, but it's gone straight to Ahmed Hodzic and rolled back there to the Japanese defender Watanabe, who comes across halfway into the centre circle, just slipping it to his left there for Goose Small, the left back over on that far side. And then it's played back up the line off a Celtic boot, out for a Feyenoord throw-in right on just about on the halfway line. You can see Martin O'Neill over on the other side. We're on the opposite side of the stadium to the dugouts / technical areas. And it's going to be a Feyenoord throw-in. Small is over it and he bowls it forward there, looking to try and get one or two teammates involved, and it was Ueda chasing after it, having to come back into a midfield position, the Feyenoord striker, but he can't control it. It was out for a Celtic throw-in this time over on the far side. 4-in, 0-0.
Yeah, I mean, Celtic, without creating too much or creating anything really, they do look like they've settled in to the game, been aggressive when they've defended, when they've had to, bit compact. Feyenoord struggling to play through them, and they have looked to get players forward and try and get the ball played forward into the areas. Even looking at Yang, his starting position is high, right up off the back of the tom, but I think Taneke, when he's there, he likes to come deep and almost take the ball, then drive forward. I think, even just the starting position for Yang can help them, because it allows then Maida to make those runs in between centre-backs and full-backs.
It's Luke McCowan for Celtic, midway inside Feyenoord territory, rolls it back to McGregor, just outside the centre circle, finds Scales to his left. Tierney's on the touchline, instead he was back in field to his captain and produced that wonderful goal at the last knock-ins in Paisley. And out the right it's McCowan looking for Donovan. Donovan's going to get there ahead of the byline. Has he won his team the corner? Yes, he has. It's good playing. It kind of just stuck in what is a heavy surface now, and that kind of aided Donovan and his ability to get onto the ball and win the corner at the byline.
That's an excellent pass from McCowan out in that right hand side. He's on the line, and when it comes to him, Donovan makes a run inside him. He just flicks it with the outside of his boot right into his path. It's a great little pass, a great run. Nice to see them linking up nice and early as well.
McGregor over the outswinging corner from the Celtic right as they attack the goal to the left, and their fans are in the top tier of the stand behind the Feyenoord goal, so the Celtic supporters have a good view of this. What can they make of it? Will be McGregor to deliver once the referee's happy with the pushing that's going on in the box. It's Austin Trusty's trying to find himself some space around the 6-yard area. Callum McGregor stares down at the ball And prepares to take. Right-footed, bends it in, it's flicked on by Maida, chance in the back post, off the bar, what a miss! What a miss! And then the rebound is fired wide of the right-hand post. But Luke McCowan's missed a sitter, albeit an offside flag might spare his blushes in any case. 6.5 in, Feyenoord 0, Celtic 0. It was like he was surprised the ball came to him.
Yeah, it was, and also potentially just too easy a chance for him. Probably doesn't commit to it because he's peeled to that back post area, and I know the flag's gone up. That doesn't mean that would have been the case that it was offside. Of course it would have been checked, but he's peeled to the back post, the ball's landed at his feet, and he's tried to flick it with the outside of his left foot on the half volley almost, and just flicked it off the bar, sweeps it in with his right. It's a simple finish, but I mean, I suppose the positive is he's in that position. Celtic look a threat from the set play. Then when it comes back to Scales, he's about 12 yards out, goes for the side volley, and just unfortunate for him to see it go wide. But that's an unbelievable opportunity for Luke McCowan early on.
It's fantastic work by Maida as well, as he flicked on, and that opened up the opportunity at the back post.
Yeah,
which McCowan couldn't take. Ahmedhodzic in the midfield here for Feyenoord, just knocking it back the way to Valentes. A big switch out to that left-hand side for Gus Small.
It's important for Luke McCowan that he doesn't dwell on it. You know, you have to look at it and say, well, you know, lucky for him, the flag goes up, and just assume you're offside, but try and take the positive of at least you had that opportunity. You can't let it affect him.
De Kuip, the host stadium of the Euro 2000 final. David Trezeguet's extra time golden goal that won it for France against the Italians. It's a historical venue. As Maida tries to chase it down, it's out to Latomba on this near side on the halfway line. Gets it back from Ahmedhodzic and then drives down the right hand side. Yang for company, forced back facing his own goal. Latomba and into his own half for Ahmedhodzic. Plays an important role in this Feyenoord side. And then he comes back the way there to Watanabe. And there have been murmurings from the media here in the Netherlands about Feyenoord and the pressure that Robin van Persie's under just now, even though they were top of the table just a matter of weeks ago. They've let that slip with those couple of league defeats recently, and PSV Eindhoven, the defending champions, and the kind of the heavyweights in this country these days, with Ajax having more problems this season. But he does seem to be coming under a degree of pressure. He was made manager back in February after Arne Slot's replacement didn't get the results that he needed to stay in the position. But they're comparing Van Persie's record right now to that of his predecessor. It seems remarkable given very much in a title fight. This is a team that was in a European final, so just to have 3 points after 4 games is not good enough for them. As Ahmedhodzic picks up and rolls it low out to this right hand side. An opportunity here for Musa. Level the edge of the D of the Celtic box, spins away from Yang, gets the cross in with the right foot, killed in the chest at the back post, and Austin Trusty does a fantastic job there, because just for a split second it looked as though Zauer was going to be in. He killed it on the chest. His next touch was crucial, and Austin Trusty made sure he didn't get that, because had he done, he would have been setting himself for a shot. Yeah,
it was great defending, great anticipation, reading of the game from Trusty. Good play from Haj Musa.
There's another opportunity. It's got in behind the Celtic defence, left hand side of the box, and it's rolled into the net by Ueda. Celtic cut open all too easily there. Zauer down the right hand side, got in behind Scales, pulled it across, and Ueda slips it home into the bottom right corner, and it's Feyenoord 1, Celtic 0.
I have to admit, you know, first of all, I thought he was offside as he goes through it. But, you know, the gap is huge, and it's just one straight pass, cuts him wide open, and, you know, what looked like a pretty positive start for Celtic, it's turned into a really poor one, because he's seen himself go behind. I was just speaking about Austin Trusty and how well he defended that cross coming in to the box, but they were wide open there, and then even the recovery, it's 2v1 going through it onto Kasper Schmeichel. It's a lovely finish, you have to say, but That is far too easy.
Well, just waiting on the game getting back underway here. There was all kinds of pyrotechnics going off as soon as the ball hit the net. They are just floating over the stadium, landing on the roof, landing on the pitch and in the stand as Celtic get the game back underway. And already, of course, with that stadium closure because of pyrotechnics, and they're at it again, the Feyenoord fans, as Hatate picks up on the near side. Celtic looking for a quick response here, but it's booted to safety by Amidodzic out to this near side. But it's a break back to Maida, but he's well offside, and that's going to be a free kick to Feyenoord inside their own box. But it's a savage blow for Celtic. 12 minutes on the clock.
Yeah, it is, and as I said, it's too easy as well. Feyenoord have tried to build from the back, and Celtic have been pretty good in the press, you have to say, in closing those gaps, and even the cross ball comes in, defended the situation pretty well, but the gap between Scales and Trusty's far too big, and there's another one again.
Yeah, another one over the top. And they come again here. It's blasted across the 6-yard line, cut out importantly by Arne Engels. There's a flag on this occasion, but they're beginning to cause serious issues, Feyenoord, with simple balls over the top of the Celtic defence. Luciano Valente was in this time, pulled it across. The offside flag went up anyway this occasion.
Yeah, I mean, there's a huge gap because Liam Scales is going really tight to Ueda when he comes short, and Austin Trusty's then covering round behind him, but Colby Donovan isn't covering round where Trusty, was and closing that gap. So Valente, if he times that run better, the space is still there. He doesn't have to go so early, but there has to be a communication between that back line of Celtic. If Liam Scales is going to be brave and aggressive and go really tight to Ueda when he goes short, then Trusty has to cover round, which he did, and he has to bring Donovan with him to make sure that there's no gap there.
Well, it's Trusty's challenge, which the referee didn't like. We are Feyenoord ball, and they have that 1-0 lead, and Celtic have this awful away record in European competition in group stage or now league phase. It's just 5 wins out of 66, which needs improving. There's another long ball from the free kick, which was given there, and Musa has it right hand side of the Celtic box up against Tierney. Into the area, rolls it back to Latomba. First time right foot, side foot cross ball, headed back across and lashed over the bar as Feyenoord look for a second. I think the flag's gone up again on this occasion, but they're tearing the Celtic defence apart right now.
Yeah, they are. It's crossfield switch of play. Musa's first touch is absolutely outstanding. Outside of the left foot, just kills it dead. He's got Latomba in support, drops it back to him. Cross goes to the back post. Ueda is the man to win it. Flicks it back inside, and I don't know how they can get a touch. I think it was Sauer that had made the run. They can get a touch and hit away 8 yards from goal, and Celtic then are scrambling. Look, in the end they do enough to put them off, but it's too easy now. That switch of play, the gap's massive, and then the recovery from the cross coming out of the box, not quite there. Donovan in the end does really well to put some pressure on it.
Yang coming forward for Celtic on the left hand side, plays it forward to the edge of the Feyenoord box for Hatate. It's cut out and Feyenoord clear, and it's been bounced off Latomba's arm there, and it's going to be a Celtic free kick on this near side. But you cannot afford to give Ayase Ueda that kind of opportunities. Lethal in front of goal. That was his 14th of the season. This is his 19th appearance, and he's got a good record in front of goal for Japan as well, 16 and 35 caps. But he was presented with an inviting opportunity which he took. But here comes Celtic. Yang looking for Tierney. He's overhit the return. Tierney had gone on the underlap, and there's no way he was getting onto that. He goes behind for the goal kick, and it stays Feyenoord 1, Celtic 0, almost in 16 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, it's really, really poor from Yang. It's a simple pass, and it starts, Scales plays it into McGregor, who flicks it round the corner to Tierney, who's high up the pitch, drives forward, plays it to Yang, makes a run inside him, and it's a simple pass. He can't be getting that wrong, and these are the moments that you have to get right, because then Tierney's a chance to flash that across goal from good play from Celtic. It just needs to be tidier, Yang.
They've not kept many clean sheets recently, Feyenoord. None in their last 6. Celtic hoping to produce a chance or two of their own tonight, and they have to come from behind as Reuter plays it short, and it's taken away by Ahmedhodzic. And then on that left it's Watanabe out to the left for Small. Big switch from left to right all the way out to this near side for the Algerian Moussa. It's an early delivery into the Celtic box from deep, but it goes harmlessly behind for the goal kick. The left hand side of the goal frame, it came from the right. It's a poor ball from Moussa, and it will be a goal kick for Kasper Schmeichel. He couldn't do anything about the Ueda goal.
Nah, it was a good finish. I mean, you're looking at Celtic and it's too open, but it's good play from Feyenoord's point of view, getting that 2v1 once it goes to Ueda. You just mentioned Liam, he's in real good goal scoring form, so you expect him to hit the back of the net.
Yang with an up and under. It's actually worked out very nicely. McCowan takes it down well, looking for support in green and white now. Gets it from Donovan in the overlap on the touchline, rolls it infield to McGregor, and then it's picked up by the captain. He switches it to Scales. He'll then roll it out to Tierney on this near side. Tierney up the line for Yang, gives it back to Tierney under pressure from Moussa. Back to Scales. He will switch it left to right of the circle for Trusty. Forward it comes, and Colby Donovan, he's moved into a more central position, out to McCowan on the far side. He goes back to Trusty. Feyenoord forcing Celtic back here. Scales picks up and fights Hatate to McGregor. And Hatate stabs it back to Trusty. Left-footed low ball out to McCowan on the right-hand side. He's got a little bit of space here. It's been closed down now by Zauer. Played infield to McGregor, and then he squares it to Scales. Better possession from Celtic, but it's when they get to where they are now in the cusp of the final third with Tierney that it's breaking down. Out to Yang on this near side. Yang comes in field, delicate ball to Maida, looks to give it back to Yang, who can't get onto the return pass. One back by Daisen Maida, then McGregor gives it away. Tierney goes after it, trying to keep this attack alive, but Lutumba defending against Callum McGregor here. It's out to Tierney, it's not the worst ball in, it's headed away though by Watanabe, and then Lutumba just plays it short to Moussa deep inside his own half, and he scoops it clear. It's better play from Celtic though.
Yeah, it is. That's great play from Ueda.
Yeah, good turn by Ueda. He was trying to set Zauer free on the left-hand side. It's cut out though, and it was important it was, because Zauer was in behind the Celtic defence there if it wasn't. And it's Feyenoord 1, Celtic 0 here in Rotterdam.
Yeah, I mean, good sustained pressure from Celtic, but not really able to create that opportunity. But they lose it, they win it back, they keep the pressure on. Just can't really fashion that chance. Tierney does well, gets half a yard.
There's a poor one out of defence by Feyenoord. It's picked up by McCowan, but he can't find Maida. Again, it's just when they get to that crucial area of the pitch that they're not making it happen as yet. Yang takes it out for a run to this left-hand side, gets away from Lutumba, he's into the byline, pulls it back, good ball. McCowan with a heavy touch, and that allows the defender to step in and clear. They're getting a little bit antsy now, the Feyenoord supporters. They've not been happy with what they've seen in recent weeks. Yes, their team is leading, but it's been a good few minutes for Celtic this. But that's a dreadful ball by Scales. He's given it straight to Ueda on the halfway line. Trusty trying to bail out his teammate. Ueda gets it back the way to Small, and then it's rolled forward to Valente, who gives it back to Watanabe, who finds Ahmedhodzic. But Liam Scales a bit lucky there. Yeah,
very lucky. It's a slack pass, he's playing that square pass to Trusty, just doesn't put enough on it. Ueda cuts it out, but just before that, Yang does brilliantly down the left hand side. Looks like he's run up, a blind alley, but he manages to free himself from Lutumba. And not only that, he's got the end product, because he picks Luke McCowan out, and it's a heavy touch from McCowan. That's a chance for me, because I think if McCowan takes a better first touch, then he's got a shot at goal. But it comes from great play from Yang down the left hand side, and a good spell, you would have to say, for Celtic, apart from the slack pass from Liam Scales there.
There's a long one for Celtic, and then Engels beaten in the jump by Lutumba. Loose ball breaks to McCowan, but he's given it away. And to be fair, both teams have been guilty of that. It's difficult conditions out there, the wind and the rain. The rain hasn't really relented in the last few hours, and Celtic give away a free kick midway inside Feyenoord territory.
Yeah, and look, McCowan's just frustrated with himself at the minute. You know, I said he didn't want that chance that he had to affect him.
His body language.
Yeah, I mean, he then takes that heavy touch. He had a chance before it where cuts off the the right hand side. It looked like the 1-2 into Maida was a better option. He goes as if, opens up his left foot as if he's going to play it, and then tries to drag it and almost trick the defender. He doesn't buy it, loses the ball, and then he's just, you know, forced a pass there to Yang that's gone straight to Feyenoord. He just needs to settle a little bit and not let it affect him too much, because it's been a decent enough display, you would say, from Celtic. I think they will have moments in the game, and if you look at Luke McCowan, the ball's dropped to him twice in the box. You know, another chance will come for him.
It's Feyenoord in possession with Small over on that left hand side, into a kind of left central position as he rolls it back to Watanabe. He's going to go long here. You're going to get Musa in behind Tierney on the right. Musa's onto it. It's a good first touch with the left. Taking on Tierney now. He's level with the 18-yard line of Celtic. Turns it back to Latomba. Side foot ball in field for Valente. Into Latomba. It's it back immediately from Ahmed Hodzic. Then out to this near side for Musa. And then rolled back there by Musa for Kargalin. And into the centre circle. There Watanabe shifts it to the left for Small, and now it's with Zauer driving down that left hand side. Change of pace from the Slovakian youngster, but turns away from Donovan but loses the ball, and McCowan gives it back to Donovan, then into McCowan, and then Engels squares it for Hatate. And Hatate looks up the pitch and goes long, trying to bend it in behind Latomba for Yang. Yang's going to get there. It's a good ball. Yang has it now, level with the Feyenoord 6-yard line, waiting for support. Rolls it back to Hatate. And then infield for McGregor. Square ball for Trusty. And then out to the right hand side for McCowan. Low ball, edge of the box. Arne Engels moves into it, a walking pace. Low ball across. Maida can't quite get there. Millenreuter gets down at Maida's feet and claims, and it stays Feyenoord 1, Celtic 0.
Yeah, it's nearly really clever from Arne Engels, because when it comes to him, he's thinking about the shot, you can see it. He opts against it, takes extra touch, and it's just a little low reverse pass into the area for Maida, but goalkeeper alert to it. And just before it, Yang had come to feet when Hatate had the ball. Hatate's telling him to run in behind, so he does. Puts it on his right foot, plays a brilliant pass over the top into his path, and that is, you know, probably Taneke would still be there and wanting the ball to feet to drive forward.
Yeah, I mean, I get the sense watching this opening 24 or 25 minutes that there is a bit of a vulnerability about Feyenoord, and they can be got at here tonight, even though Celtic are in arrears of one just now.
Yeah, and also, you know, Celtic have gone behind, but, you know, we have seen it where they'll go one, quickly it'll be two, and then there's a mountain to climb. They've settled into the game pretty well. They've knocked the ball about, they've worked into wide areas, they've created a couple of chances, no amazing chances, but they have looked a threat. And there is this, you know, I said that about Feyenoord, the run they've been on domestically, the fans in here will get on their back if, you know, if Celtic want to equalise. I would imagine it will be quite noisy in here. So yeah, Celtic just need to keep going, keep playing the way they're playing, and try and force that nervousness to creep into the Feyenoord performance. But I have to say, when they went it back, they do look a threat. I think Musa looks like a really technically really good football player. They've got that speed as well. Ueda looks like a strong, you know, aggressive striker, and they have, you know, a bit of energy in the midfield. So they do have quality, but I think that Celtic need to just maintain the control, because they have control of the game at the minute, and try and, you know, see if that nervousness can creep in and allow Celtic to get an opportunity to get level in the game.
Scales picking up on this near side and looking to bend it out to Tierney, wide on the left, up against Latomba. It's Kieran Tierney trying to get the early ball in, cut out by the fullback. Tierney's going to get back onto it. Latomba's all over him and wins it back. Tierney brings him down, and that will be a free kick to Feyenoord on this near side.
Yeah, just wouldn't drop for Tierney. There's a lovely pass from Liam Scales, but right in front of Kieran Tierney. He's got his head up. You can see Maida making the run, telling him where he wants it, and he's just trying to pass that into his path, but the ball's bouncing all the while, and it allows Latomba to recover and get in his way of the pass, and then he does well to drive forward. Tierney, when he wins it back, he's facing his own goal, but tries a little back heel. Latomba cuts it out. I think you just play that back, maintain the attack, and now Latomba's been able to take the pressure off, win the foul, and allow his team to get the ball forward.
Long clearance there by Villenreuter. He's going to get it back immediately as it came back into the Feyenoord half. The goalkeeper gives it to Ahmed Hodzic. And then Villenreuter gets it again and finds the other centre-back, Watanabe. So remember to come later on, Rangers against Braga, also in the Europa League, 8 o'clock kick-off at Ibrox. And also, at that time, in the Conference League, it's Aberdeen against the Armenian champions, Noah. And to be honest, you've got to be looking at 2 wins for the Scottish clubs, and those ones, if there's going to be any hope of knockout football, you feel Rangers have to win all 4 of their remaining matches if they are going to threaten that. Celtic in a better position clearly, but they're behind here, and it's an opportunity on that left-hand side for Small, who gets it from Valente wide in the left, just rolling it back to Valente again midway inside Celtic territory. Played infield to Targaline, he loses it. Celtic have it back to McGregor, winning it back for the visitors to McCowan, looking to set Maida away, but it's calmly dealt with by Ahmed Hodzic. Maida's all over him, but he rolls it back to his goalkeeper.
Yeah, he does well, Ahmed Hodzic. I think that when McCowan gets the ball, it is the right pass. It's the pass he has to play because of the run Maida makes. And Ahmed Hodzic, you have to give him credit. His positioning's excellent, and he's nice and calm when he wins the ball back under the pressure of Maida. We know how good he is at that.
Targaline for Feyenoord, it's a poor ball. He was looking for Zawara out on that far side. He goes out to play for a throw-in to Celtic. It is a talented Feyenoord team despite their recent ills, and full of internationalists, headed up by their captain Sam Stein, who arrived in the summer window from Twente for around 10 million euros, made his Dutch debut during the World Cup qualification campaign against Lithuania. And it's internationalists all round in that side. Celtic have plenty themselves, obviously. And to come here into this, what is an intimidating arena, even if one of the stands is closed, and get a result is a difficult task.
Yeah, you do feel it's having a big impact on the atmosphere though, Liam. That stand being closed, clearly, not as many fans in it, but it must be the ultras and the ones that do all the singing and make all the noise.
Ultras, yeah, it is. So
it is, slightly different, and there are quiet moments which I would imagine you don't normally get here, because the fan culture is that they sing all throughout the game, so that is severely lacking. And another reason that Celtic can go and force the issue, force their nervousness to creep in.
Hatate finds McGregor in his own half, back to Hatate, up to the halfway line for Engels, who shields the ball, passes it to McGregor. McGregor infield to Hatate, then out to Yang on this near side before he gives it back to McGregor, and now it's with Hatate again. We are just about to tick on to the half-hour mark here. Feyenoord 1, Celtic 0 in Rotterdam. And it's played out to McCowan on the far side, gets it to Hatate in the box, manages to force it across, chance in the back post for Yang, who scores! Celtic level in Rotterdam! Brilliantly worked down that right-hand side. And the cross came looping across the face of goal. And Yang Hyun-jun comes up with possibly his biggest moment in a Celtic jersey so far to square the game into Kite. It is Feyenoord 1, Celtic 1.
I tell you what, that is an outstanding goal from Celtic. Brilliant football, running off the ball. When it comes to McCowan, Hatate made the run inside him. Lovely little first time pass into his path. And Hatate, you're looking at it saying, can the ball bounce and give him that opportunity to get the cross in? He just loops it to the back post, and Yang is there to slot it in. By the way, it's not even an easy finish. He does really well to finish it, but it's outstanding football from Celtic, and you have to say they deserve it. They've played really well. They've had moments of control, just waiting for that opportunity to get themselves level. There it is, and they take it. It's definitely game on.
Points to be plundered here, without a doubt. We were just talking about the atmosphere, the state of mind of the Feyenoord supporters just a minute or two before Yang prodded that one into the net past Villenreuter. Big moment for Celtic, who are on it again down the right hand side with Engels. moves in field, passes it into Hatate, who's involved in that goal there. Rio Hatate has had a quiet season by his standards, and many at Celtic have done. But here's Liam Scales getting it from Trusty, looks up at the Feyenoord box, crosses in, it's half away. Yang cushions it into the path of Tierney, left hand side of the box, a good ball in, it's flicked half away, and then picked up over on the other side of the box by Zauer, who's got away from a couple of challenges and drives Feyenoord away from their own penalty area. Across the halfway line, the Slovakian moves it in field there as Yang slides in and wins it back brilliantly against Targalin. Now it's with Hatate, and then back to McGregor. Well, Celtic have come to life, there's no question about it. There is a 3-point haul to be had here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think they've played well in the game from the start, really. You know, the goal they lose is a poor one from their point of view of they were too open, but I think the reaction's been excellent. They've had moments of control without really creating outstanding opportunities, but you could tell that there was no feeling of, you know, this is a lost cause or it's game over, or, you know, there's no way they can get into the game. I think they've built their way into the game with knocking the ball about, you know, getting a touch and you know, building these opportunities. At times, yes, they have played more balls in behind, but I think you have to do that as long as you've got willing runners. But they look really comfortable at this stage.
It's a Feyenoord team that's been leaking goals as Scales dinks it down the line for Yang, nods it in field, comes to Tierney, and then Yang back to McGregor. McGregor then back to Scales, forward to Maida. It's a poor flick by Dyson. Maida doesn't come off, and now Feyenoord conveying down this right hand side with Musa, and suddenly it's 2-on-2. He's got Ueda up in support. Musa up towards the edge of the box, slips it to Ueda, takes a touch, sits the defender down, shoots, and it's a brilliant save by the right foot of Kasper Schmeichel as Celtic bundle it behind for the corner. They have dodged a bullet there big time. It stays Feyenoord 1, Celtic 1.
They have, because initially they're so high, they're so aggressive to go and press. The space is all down this right hand side. Musa bearing down in goal. I have to say, defending was excellent, because there's a delay, it's allowing players to get back, and that is a quite magnificent save for Kasper Schmeichel. Outstretched right foot, Ueda, he's found the corner, he's definitely getting in. It's a tremendous save from Schmeichel, and as much as it's, you know, alarming that they're so open, the recovery for me was outstanding as a team, and what a save from Schmeichel.
Yeah, brilliant. And his old man used to do that a lot as well. Spectacular saves with his foot as the corner comes in, and it's Stein, the skipper, who took it. It was a poor one, but it's come off a Celtic body and behind for another corner for the home team. That goal for Celtic coming at a time when they were in charge of proceedings, but here they are up against it. It's a Feyenoord corner. Stein waits to take. Kasper Schmeichel stands on his line right in the middle of his goal, and it's a right-footed deep corner from Stein, which is flicked back towards goal by Ahmed Hodzic. Celtic clear, and it comes here to Small, who plays it to his left. It's going to end up coming back to the goalkeeper though, with Maida on the scene trying to win it back, and then Reuter has it and he dinks it out to the left hand side. A little spin by Luciano Valenti down the left, and he's managed to get away from McCowan. Driving in field, rolls it through, looking for Ueda, who's gone down. I think he feels he was fouled there right in the edge of the Celtic box. It's gone behind for the goal kick, which Schmeichel is wanting to take quickly. The referee's telling him to hold up play. Now it looks as though they would have potentially looked for it, because it was quite close to being in the box there, but it's game on anyway, and Schmeichel finds Scales, who rolls it out to Tierney on this near side. We're in the final 10 minutes of the opening 45. One apiece. Hatate's been robbed. Ueda driving up to the edge of the box, left-footed, shoots, blocked. Did it come off a hand? There's a big appeal for a Feyenoord penalty from the home support and from the home players there. We'll find out in the fullness of time if there's anything in that. Celtic, though, is so cheap from them. It was Hatate who was guilty this time. It was Maida up the other end that led to the Ueda chance that Schmeichel ultimately saved from. And it's just some sloppy play creeping in, and in the wrong areas as well.
Yeah, I mean, Hatate, I think he's actually been really good in the game, and at times he's been excellent at just backing in, taking the pressure off, taking the sting out of it, but he just backs off, and but it's just too easy. He just, is dispossessed so easily. It allows Feyenoord to go and run into the box, and it did look like there was a potential handball, but there's a lot of bodies there. I don't know whether it's, speed and close proximity and all the, criteria that the referees will look at. But it did become a little bit messy because Hatate had a chance to get his foot in the ball, play a pass, and he's just too slack at that moment.
The ball still hasn't gone out of play since that handball, so it might still be something that will be revisited. It's gone out now for a throw-in over on the far side. Well, of course, the VAR and his team have had plenty time to look at it since the incident, and it looks like Celtic are okay, because this throw-in is going to be taken over on the far side by the hosts, and it's Small bowling it back to Ahmed Hodzic, who in turn goes back to his goalkeeper. Feyenoord 1, Celtic 1. Feyenoord, it's been a good reaction by them to conceding the equaliser, but a lot of it is down to Celtic's sloppy play.
Yeah, that is. I mean, I think Celtic have performed really well, but a couple of lapses in concentration, or maybe excitement to go and press and just leaving that space for Feyenoord to go and exploit. I think overall, if you're looking at the game, it's been pretty even. But Feyenoord just probably sensing that urgency that they need to get themselves back in front. I feel that they do, because you mentioned the form they're on, you mentioned the pressure the manager's under. As much as you're looking at it from a Celtic point of view and saying this would be a great result for them if they win the game here, Feyenoord will be looking at this saying there's no way they can afford to lose this game given the run of form that they're on.
Yeah, and the fact they're on 3 points.
Yep.
In this tournament, as Latomba picks up on the near side. Celtic have shaded the possession, 53%, which is decent here, but there's a foul and a yellow card. Rio Hatate has been booked for bringing Ahmed Hodzic crashing to the ground, trying to help the Swedish-born former Bosnia international back to his feet here as he apologises, but it's the first yellow card of the evening, and it comes for Rio Hatate. Celtic had 2 players sent off the last time they were in De Kuip. Lager Bilka and Odin Holm were ordered off in the second half of that match, and Celtic were beaten 2-0. But they've certainly put up a fight tonight, there's no question about that, and they feel they deserve to be all square as they are at the moment at 1-1. As Musa picks up on this Feyenoord right from that free kick, gets away from his man, passes towards Latomba, too much on the pass though, it bounces off the full-back and breaks back to Celtic. McGregor back to Tierney, who hits it long. Maida gets onto the loose ball, but decent recovery from Ahmed Hodzic, and he's managed on the slide to knock it to his central defensive partner Watanabe, and then it's picked up by Small, looking to slip it down the line for Zauer. He's not going to get there though, and it's with Callum McGregor, who will play it over to the right hand side for Colby Donovan, who launches it long with the right foot. It breaks all the way through to Vellenreuter, the Feyenoord goalkeeper. Big night for Colby Donovan. We saw him, he started in Belgrade, didn't he, on the match day 1, so another one for him to add to his collection, the youngster.
Yeah, it is. Big opportunity for him. Alistair Johnston obviously been out injured. Anthony Ralston has more often than not been chosen ahead of him, but it's a great opportunity for Colby Donovan.
Feyenoord switch it out from left over to right on this near side. It's Musa, level with the Celtic 18-yard line. It's a poor ball in, he's overhit that by some stretch, and that's going to go out of play for a throw into Celtic down by the corner flag over on that far side. The Celtic right, and we're in the final 5 minutes of the first half with the scoreline Feyenoord 1, Celtic 1. It's been more of a period of the game where Feyenoord have been playing in the Celtic half, so perhaps it's now a question Martin O'Neill will be hoping, Sean Maloney, that they could get in all square at the interval without conceding another here.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, you feel that Feyenoord are desperate to go and get that second goal, and could that leave an opportunity for Maida to go and stretch them, get a ball over the top for him to run onto, and potentially, as much as right now you say, right, get to half time 1-1, Feyenoord go and commit the extra bodies forward, then it gives you a chance to get Maida running through and goal. But certainly I think Celtic performed really well. I think they've looked comfortable. I think the reaction from going behind was excellent.
When you compare and contrast it to Midtjylland last time out.
Absolutely, and they've been in the game, they've been competitive.
Here's a chance for Zauer on the edge of the box. He shoots, blocked well by Austin Trusty, and then slipped forward by McCowan, who finds Hatate out to the near side for Yang. First time with the right foot, comes all the way through to Villenreuter, and then it's rolled out to the left side. You did worry for Celtic there when Leo Zauer picked it up on the left, drove to the edge of the box. He did get his shot away and he got plenty behind it as well, but it was a good block.
Yeah, it wasn't. Look, they have managed to get free and get into positions where they can cause problems, but you have to credit, the recovery. Defending's been good. They've got down the line of the shot, got their blocks in, and as much as you'd rather they weren't taking shots, but the reaction and the recovery from the players as a team has been really good.
Minodzic goes back to his goalkeeper on the right foot. He plays it low to the left for too small, and in field to Stein, who was, as I said earlier, upon signing immediately installed as club captain by Robin van Persie here. Villenreuter, it's a poor touch, wide out of the pressure, and it's rolled in by Hatate. Side foot low into the empty net after Maida slid it on Villenreuter. It broke back to Hatate just outside the D, and it's the cushioned side foot effort into the net to give Celtic a priceless lead here in the Netherlands. But it's Feyenoord 1, Celtic 2 on 43 minutes. What a huge moment that was.
Absolutely incredible turnaround from Celtic. Speaking about, can you get to half time at 1-1 and then maybe make the change, but if the chance presents itself, then can you take it? And it's Dyson Maida. I mean, Wellenreuters takes so much time to try and clear the ball up the pitch, and Maida just does not give up on it. It's brilliant pressure, and also when it comes to Hatate, it looks like an easy finish, it looks like a simple finish, but he is so concentrated. Just side foot pass, first time into the empty net. It's an absolutely incredible first half of football for Celtic. What a result this is at the moment.
Celtic 2-1 up against the 16-time Dutch champions. Great moment for Rio Hatate. He's in a difficult season. That might just spark him. It certainly sparked the Celtic supporters in the top tier off to our left. But here come the home team down the left with Zauer, but he's in his route into the box cut off, and Celtic are going to get a free kick, I think, over on the far side. Just talking about how Martin O'Neill and Sean Maloney would be keen to get in all square at half time. They have a lead now. Yeah,
I mean, look, I think it's been the type of game where Celtic have not been dominant, but you can see they look comfortable and confident when they have the ball, when even the recovery from every player to get back and get blocks in, and you understand that you're coming here to a tough place and you're going to face a bit of pressure, but they've looked so comfortable, and you felt that Feyenoord, you have to feed on the fact that they're not in great form. You have to come and believe you can actually win the game, and forget the fact that Celtic's away record's poor, and it spans a number of different teams over a number of different years. There's nothing the players can do about that other than believe they can win the game that they play away from home, which is the one in front of them right now. And I have to say, they have been really good this first half. They deserve immense credit, because I said at the start of the game, I feared that if Celtic went behind, they probably wouldn't have a chance to win the game. So the reaction from that has been absolutely outstanding.
Well, we're into the stoppage time here, and Celtic have a free kick and they have a chance to score a third goal here, which would be quite remarkable. It's a team that hasn't won any of their last 15 European away games, going back to a victory over Ferencváros in Budapest in 2021. Arne Engels with a free kick. It's headed half away. It's Hatate, and he skews it high into the air, and it drops down into the stand, and it will stay Feyenoord 1, Celtic 2, and we're in that minute of stoppage time at the end of the first half here. Celtic are going to go in at the break with a lead, James McFadden. It's a fabulous position to be in for them.
Absolutely, and you add the fact that they've gone behind in the game, and they've shown a great response to get themselves in at the break ahead.
And listen to that reaction from the home supporters. The partial stadium closure here in De Kuip this evening, shorn of their noisiest section of fans, but they took the lead through Ueda, their top scorer, Ayase Ueda, with the finish. It was an excellent finish. Celtic were guilty of giving the ball away in the wrong areas at times, including on that occasion, and Ueda snapped up the opportunity. But what a fantastic reaction it's been by the Scottish champions. First equalising through Yang. He took his goal well after excellent work on the right. All this after Luke McCowan missed a glaring opportunity early on, spared by an offside flag, I suppose. But Yang squared the game. And then just as we moved towards half-time, an absolute dream moment for Reo Hatate. Maida closing the goalkeeper down, slid in, the keeper took too long to clear. Maida got a crucial touch onto it. It broke to Hatate at the edge of the box, and he rolled the ball home calmly from outside the area to give Celtic a precious lead in Rotterdam. We're at half-time. It is Feyenoord 1, Celtic 2.
Celtic in the UEFA Europa League.
Live on Sports Sound
From BBC Radio Scotland.
You're listening to Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland. 3 commentaries for you this evening. What a fantastic first half out there in the Netherlands, and what a fight back from Martin O'Neill's side. Feyenoord 1, Celtic 2. A reminder, 2 games kick off at 8 o'clock, also in the Europa League. Rangers at home to Braga, and in the Conference League we have Aberdeen against Armenian side Noah. So all that to come. We're on here right through until 11 o'clock this evening. We'll have reaction from the managers involved in these games, and of course we'll get reaction from the fans. Tom English and Billy Dodds alongside me here in the studio. First thing to say, Billy, it's been a cracking first half, hasn't it?
Yeah, loads of chances. You would have to say a few mistakes from both teams, but an entertaining first half, Kenny. Celtic the first chance, obviously, with McCowan knocking onto the crossbar from the corner, which was flicked on by Maeda, and should maybe have done better, but flagged offside. But I mean, the goal they gave away, and it was a real setback as well, and they've shown, as Faddy said, the courage and the strength to come back from that 1-0 deficit. But I mean, the goal, and it's happened a lot of times, and Tom and I have been pointing out, where on the turnovers, when they give the ball away, they're so vulnerable. Celtic, they've nearly been done 3 times now, but they lost the goal because Trusty just goes in a mazy high up the pitch, and then Feyenoord nicked the ball off him. But his slot is never filled, in terms of the ball get played forward pretty quickly, but he had time to get back and get himself in there, and it was his man that obviously scored, Ueda, with a tap in, because once it gets crossed, Donovan can't get himself in either. So there was a real vulnerability about Celtic, but they get the equaliser, and it's a brilliant goal. I mean, all round, 5 or 6 passes, keeping the ball. Then McCowan picks out Hatate's run, and he just lobs it over, and it's a fine finish from Yang at a tight angle. And then Celtic nearly give it away. Maeda again, poor, and they nearly score. It's a 1v1. Ueda again, and then Hatate's poor and gives the ball away in the central area, and they get a shot. So they've ridden the luck a little bit in terms of keeping possession. They're getting done so many times, but somehow I think it was Liam that mentioned that there's a real fragility about Feyenoord as well, and Feyenoord take their time with the back pass, and the goalkeeper dwells on it, could have done it sharper and just got rid of it. We all know about Maeda, never gives you a minute, and he blocks it and gets a sort of semi-block on it, and it rolls to Hatate to put it in, and it's a brilliant turnaround, and fair play to them for getting in 2-1 in front at the break, because it could have been so much worse, because they have given away a lot of chances while they're in possession.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, Tom. Watching that first half kind of sums up Celtic's season for me. There have been moments of real quality, but also some real slackness in the side.
Yeah, but there's resilience there as well, and we haven't seen a lot of that over the last 4 years or more away from home in Europe. So they fall behind to a really, really poor goal. As I say, Trusty just jogs back into position. It's a really poor effort from him to get back after he's given the ball away. They're vulnerable. Ueda scores the goal. They're 1-0 down, and it's 11 minutes, and you think, right, okay, here we go again. But they dug in, they stayed in the fight, they showed a lot of belief, they got a hold of the game again, and Yang scores a goal, deserved, I think. It was a good goal. 1-1. And now it's Feyenoord who are looking a little bit nervy, as you'd expect them to do, because they're on a bad run. It's Celtic who are on top, and they get the second goal. And the second goal is down to, I know it's scored by Hatate, but it's Maeda, really. I mean, Maeda's honesty and work rate and speed across the grass is amazing. Goalkeeper obviously underestimated Maeda's pace, because he's just panicked, and he's cleared it straight to Hatate, and he's been very cool in his finish. So it's a great comeback. It's unexpected, but extremely welcome, and they're showing a lot of character.
They certainly have. Full second half commentaries that come from Rotterdam in the same competition. Rangers kick off at home to Braga at 8 o'clock. That's our second commentary of the evening. Andy Halliday is there for us. Good evening to you, Andy. What are you expecting from this one?
Kenny, I don't know what to expect. So often we talk about these Thursday nights for Rangers as being a welcome distraction for Rangers and this group of players, but you've got to say this season it's been almost just a distraction. No sitting bottom of the table, 0 points. Coming up against a side that we've seen a couple of months ago up against Celtic, where I thought they were extremely impressive at Celtic Park on the night. And I think there's going to be a lot of eyes on the players tonight, Kenny. You know, it's obviously been a difficult season for Rangers, but I think a lot of the fans' frustration and disgruntlement has been towards Russell Martin, who's now no longer there. And then it got shifted towards Kevin Thelwell and Patrick Stewart, who's no longer there. So I think there's going to be more eyes and more pressures on the players to deliver on the pitch. And that being said, since Danny Rose came in, there's obviously been a slight upturn in results. They're 4-4 domestically, although I don't think the performances have quite been great. And if you look at the Europa League group phase last year, where they done ever so well, 10 points was that minimum point threshold to get you into the qualifying to the next round. And to do that, they're going to have to win 3 of the next 4, and they're up against a really good side tonight. Yeah,
we certainly saw that against Celtic. Braga were very good, Tom. Andy's talking there about the performances have not been great, and we had a Rangers fan join us from the ground after the game at Livingston. He said that's another 90 minutes I'll never get back in my life. He said it's been really, it's been a hard watch. He said, albeit he's getting the results.
Yeah, he is. He's been getting the results, and you got to give thanks for that much, at least. He's at the foothills of this redevelopment. It's just starting off. He's grinding. His team is grinding out wins, and that's good, because Russell Martin couldn't do it. I think it's 4 wins in a row domestically for the first time since Philippe Clement, since January maybe. I think I'm right on that. So that's a long time. The team it's really tough watch. But Rule all he can do is win the games, and then maybe try and add a bit of sprinkle on top later on. He understands. And we were talking earlier on about what the new Celtic manager is going to have to do: win, and then worry about the style later on. That's where Danny Rule is right now. He's winning games. The style, does it matter all that much? Not really, because he's got to stay in contention at the top of the league. And if it's an ugly 1-0 or an ugly 2-1, which it has been, that's where they are right now. Because this is not a good Rangers team. It is not a good Rangers team. They need a number of new players, and they need the ones they have to improve a lot.
I think that's the key, Andy, isn't it? I think they need to give the fans something to feed off tonight, a fast start, a real intensity, an electric start, because there was great delight. Let's not mask that at the departures at the beginning of the week of Thelwell and Stewart. So you'd imagine the fans a bit more buoyant than they have been tonight. It's up to the team to give them more.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it reciprocates both ways. I think the fans always come here, to be noisy, to be heard, but the fact that the players, like he says, on the pitch have to give them something to feed off. They have to, try and maintain that energy in the crowd for as long as they possibly can. And listen, I don't put that down as a slight to Danny Rowe at all, but for me, I think the performances at the minute aren't sustainable to make it 4 wins out of 4 domestically to 8 wins out of 8 domestically. Now obviously they're up against a completely different challenge in Braga tonight, who've got 9 points out of possible 12 in the Europa League phase. But I think as well as the results, I do think this team are crying out for a performance, just for a confidence basis as well. And again, we've not really touched on it. It'll be really interesting to see what he actually goes with in terms of lineup tonight. I think he's obviously short in certain areas. If I refer back to that Celtic Park game against Braga, I thought Celtic really struggled to cope with Braga's 2-10s behind the lone striker. Then Brendan Rodgers at half time changed to a 3 at the back, something that Celtic's Brendan Rodgers never done. So coming into the game tonight, if Danny Rowe had the option to play at that three at the back, would he? But obviously with Derek Cornelius missing for a period of time, John Souttar missing, does he have the personnel to do so? They're obviously been struggling all season in both boxes with who leads that line up front, who's going to be that go-to player to get you goals in this competition and others. So I think there's going to be question marks over the team lineup, but one thing's for sure, whoever is lucky enough to be picked, they have to perform for Rangers to get a result.
No doubt at all about that. We'll bring you that team news as soon as the Celtic game finishes. Thanks very much for now to Andy Halliday. Full commentary to come from him and Alistair Lamont. That one kicks off at 8 o'clock. Billy, also an 8 o'clock start at Pittodrie tonight in the Conference League. Aberdeen home to Armenian side Noah. It's been a bit better from Jimmy Tilleen's side of late.
It has, Kenny. I mean, yeah, the result against Hearts and the manner they did it and dug it out shows a side to them that a lot of people were thinking wasn't with Aberdeen or wasn't in this Aberdeen team. So that's going to stand them in good stead, and they've had a couple of draws and another win. So 4 games without defeat going into this one. At home, they'll be hoping to add to their 1 point. They need to keep it going. They've now built up momentum, which is huge in this game. But Europe's a different kettle of fish, as we all know, so it's whether they can take their domestic form, which is decent, and you can throw in Larnaca, the draw as well, into this one and try and get a win in Europe, which would be massive for Aberdeen. It'd be massive for Jimmy Tilleen and his team to kick them on another stage.
I just wonder, can we get the 3 wins tonight? Tom English is looking at me as if I'm mad, but you never know.
Keep the Grim Reaper quiet.
Keep the Grim Reaper quiet. Listen, we're off to a good start, so just a reminder what's coming up. We're on air until 11 o'clock tonight. Between 10 and 11 we'll hear post-match reaction from the managers. We'll be joined by fans when the game's done and dusted in Rotterdam. The option of commentary in the Europa League, Rangers against Braga. In the Conference League, that is Aberdeen against Noah. Thomas Duncan and Willie Miller there for us. We'll get the team news, we'll hear from the managers before kick-off in these 8 o'clock games. Let's get back to this 5:45 start then out in Rotterdam. Liam McLeod and James McFadden there for us. It's been a terrific first half, hasn't it, Faddy?
Yes, it has, Kenny. I think it's been a really good Celtic performance, and look, they have been open and too open at times, but I think overall you would say it's been a really good performance. Yang coming up with the goal. I think Hatate's played his best game, certainly his best half for a while, and I just think that they look like a team that believe they can come here and get a result. Even going behind, the reaction I thought was really good, and it's been an enjoyable Celtic performance for me.
Yeah, it really has, hasn't it? I mean, what have you made of Luke McCowan, James?
I like Luke McCowan. I think that early in the game the miss certainly affected him, but I like that he's still wants to get on the ball. He's willing to take the risk, and there was a moment I think he tried a pass and his body language didn't look great, but I think it was Luke McCowan that flicks it into the path of Hatate for the Yang goal, which is brilliant. And his work rate's been phenomenal getting back. They have been open, and I think that for the team, their desire to get back and defend and help their team out, I think has been really good. And I actually quite like the look of the balance. As much as before the game, I would say it's not a front three that would really excite you. And we have certainly seen better options for Celtic over the years, but I think they've performed well. I think Yang's done well on the left hand side. A couple of times where he's been a little bit slack, but that's to be expected. But I think they've looked really good. I think they've looked good as a team. If the criticism is that Feyenoord at times have got in too easy, they've been too open and maybe too aggressive to go and squeeze the game. But that is sometimes the risk that you take, that you go and you try and get the overload in a certain area of the pitch. It leaves you a bit short in another. But overall, I think good performance, desire to get back, work rate and hunger for the team's been there. Most importantly, I think they've looked confident and they've looked comfortable in the game.
Just looking at some other scores in the Europa League: Roma 1, Midtjylland 0, Aston Villa 2, Young Boys 0, Porto 2, Nice 0, Fenerbahce 0, Ferencváros 0, Feyenoord 1, Celtic 2. What a comeback so far from Martin O'Neill's side. Lille 2, Dinamo Zagreb 0, Ludogorets 1, Celta Vigo 0, PAOK 0, Brann 0 and Pilsen 0, Freiburg 0. So just a reminder, we're on here till 11 o'clock tonight. 2 more commentaries to come, one from Ibrox, one from Pittodrie. They both kick off at 8 o'clock, so all that to look forward to. But right now, let's get back to our guys in the Netherlands. It's been a great first half there. Full second half commentary to come. Feyenoord against Celtic in the Europa League with James McFadden and Liam McLeod.
Yeah, fantastic position that Celtic find themselves in as the players make their way back out onto the sodden pitch here in Rotterdam. And Martin O'Neill down there in his last European match as Celtic interim boss. Still can't quite believe that he's in this position. He is hoping to repeat what he did back in 2001 when they defeated Ajax up the road in Amsterdam. Famous European night in the Champions League qualifiers. They won that 3-1, and although they lost the second leg 1-0, they went through to the groups, and that wonderful run under O'Neill, particularly those games at Celtic Park under the lights, really did make a name for itself, the stadium. Some famous victories along the way. It will be Feyenoord who will kick off the second half here. They're going to shoot from right to left as we watch the Olympic stand here opposite the managers, the technical areas over on the far side. The Austrian referee is just about ready to go. No changes at the start of the second half as the skipper Stein rolls it all the way back to Villeneuve, the goalkeeper, who goes long with the right foot. Long ball which is headed away by Scales, and Celtic collect, and it's moved out to that left-hand side as the wind gets up again here. The rain is unrelenting as Donovan picks up and goes back to Austin Trusty, who will square it to Scales, the edge of his box. Celtic in the green and white hoop shirts, Feyenoord in their red and white with black shorts, and it's played out to Donovan on the near side and up the line to McCowan. He's under pressure, he's had it nicked off him there by Sauer. Feyenoord pick up and go all the way back to the goalkeeper again via Watanabe. So it's Schmeichel in goal for Celtic. Donovan, Trusty, Scales and Tierney, Engels, McGregor, Hatate, McCowan, Yang and Maida. It's Yang and Hatate's goals that have Celtic in a 2-1 lead here, James, and they'll want to, again, I said right at the start of the first half, settle quickly in the second.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a key period for Celtic, right at the start of this second half, because that Feyenoord will be out and try and get that equaliser as quick as they can, try and get control of the game. So it's important, Celtic have switched on early on this second half, and then they can settle into the game again and try and perform the way they did in the first half. I expect them to do that, because it will be the message to not take a step backwards. Be wary, but don't allow Feyenoord to have control of the game, and to re-establish the control they had in the first half. And who knows, could they go and get the third goal? Could they go and really enjoy themselves tonight? Because that is the challenge to them. Can they go and enjoy this game? Can they go and enjoy winning away from home against a really good side? I know they're not in great form, but this is a tough place to get results.
Ball down this near side is headed behind for the corner by Colby Donovan, and Stein trying to whip the home fans up there, waving his arms around. They went off the pitch at half-time to a chorus of boos and jeering from the home supporters. Not been enjoying themselves watching their team recently. It will be Stein to take the corner. In-swinger on this near side as they attack the goal to our left. And it comes, it's deep towards the back post, it's beaten everyone, and it will sail behind on the opposite side for a goal kick to Celtic. And after all that from the captain, Sem Stein, trying to get the fans behind the team, that is exactly the kind of thing that does the opposite.
Absolutely. Well, I was just thinking that, Feyenoord now shooting towards their own fans, and if it goes well for you, it's great because they'll get the support, but if it doesn't, then that's when the groans can start to come as well, and added pressure that they don't need at the minute.
Just a reminder, there is a partial stadium closure here. Schmeichel gets rid of it, shades of the moment that helped Celtic into the lead there as he was being closed down, got away with it in the nick of time. Now it's with Tierney on the left, long ball looking for Maida, controls it well just inside the Feyenoord half on that far side. And Celtic left, back to Hatate, back to Maida. Maida then looking for Hatate, it's cut out though, and then there's a foul on Stein over on the far side, right of the centre circle. Feyenoord free kick, 2-1 to Celtic.
Yeah, I mean, it looked promising, Maida, Yang and Hatate linking up, but it's that square pass again. You have to get absolutely spot on, and it's cut out, allows Feyenoord to get the ball back, win the ball, win the fill, and now allows them to go and get the ball in around the Celtic box.
We're not underestimating the size, magnitude and importance of Celtic holding out and collecting 3 points, because that gets them right back into the race for a knockout place. As Hatate goes down, he's looking for a free kick, he's going to get one left of the centre circle, and then there's an incident off the ball between Engels and one of the Feyenoord players, and the referee's just gone over to try and sort that out. I think that he's going to speak to the two of them. It's Engels and I think it's Targaline is the other one.
Yeah, Engels just tried to play the quick free kick. Targaline, they picked the ball up, Engels tried to get it off him, and look, he does push him, he shouldn't be doing that, but it shows you that urgency that Celtic have to go and try and, you know, get control of the game, set the tempo of the game and control that.
Short free kick by Scales to Engels, back to Scales, switches it right of the circle here for Trusty, out to Donovan on the near side touchline, manages to get himself away from Zauer. Now it's with Engels holding off his man, finding Donovan down the line for McCowan, and then he's under pressure from Small, but he's managed to get it back to Scales, and then shifts it out to the left for Tierney, and back to Scales again. A few players in that Celtic team were due the supporters and the management team, the coaching staff, a big performance tonight, and the likes of Engels and Hatate are producing. So it comes all the way back to Schmeichel, and rolls it to Trusty to his right, forward to Engels, who goes back to Kasper Schmeichel, who gets rid of it. It's not really a night you want to be passing the ball back to your goalkeeper, because it's holding up in the pitch, and if you undercook your pass, then you're potentially in big trouble. Yeah,
and the more you do it, the more encouragement Feyenoord get to go and put pressure on, and it only needs to take one mistake, one under-hit pass, one over-hit pass to capitalise on it, but they've worked it well here, Celtic.
Here's Donovan wide on the right, level with the edge of the D of the Feyenoord box, but he's lost out as he tried to find McCowan. He might get a second chance here. He controls it on the chest, got it from Trusty, then Engels goes back to Trusty. Now it's with McGregor. He moves it into the centre circle for Scales. The shrill whistles from the home supporters tell you that they are a bit anxious about the way this game's going, and it also tells you that Celtic are in possession for an extended period of time, and that can only be a good thing for the visitors. And McGregor picks up, it's a long ball out to Luke McCowan on this near side, controls it well, looks to get the cross in, he has done, headed away by Ahmed Hodzic, and out it goes for a Celtic throw in on this near side. Good use of the ball, that.
Yeah, it is. It's a great switch, and it's a brilliant first touch from Luke McCowan. Just kills it. It allows him then to step on and put the cross in, and the cross isn't a great one, but it's still forcing Feyenoord to defend as Trusty just gets a little bit slack, trying to hit it to Tierney, gets it wrong, and that's where, when you take that risky pass, you have to make sure you get it right, and that's not a forward pass, it's a risky square pass where you're trying to get out the other side, and it's overhit and allows Feyenoord possession of the ball. But I have to say, you know, Feyenoord won a free kick about 5 minutes ago, and I thought they might put this forward and try and force Celtic to defend. They didn't. They went back, centre back to centre back, out to left back, and didn't really create much from it, and they've done the exact same from this throw-in. Chance to go and throw it forward, they throw it back, it goes from centre back to left back. He just lets the ball run under his foot, and you can see that Feyenoord are really struggling here with probably the demands and where they are in the game at the minute. You can tell it's a team that's not, they're a good team, you can tell they've got quality, but maybe see that it's this team that's not in a great run of form at the minute.
It's back at the feet of Kasper Schmeichel, who knocks it to his left for Scales. 2-1 Celtic, 53 on the clock now. Back with Schmeichel, short ball to Trusty. Trusty then out to Donovan on this near side, rolls it forward looking for Maida, gets enough onto it to force it to McCowan, who switches it out to that left hand side, and now Yang is controlled, and he's got pitch to eat up as he drives forward. Defenders getting back at him. Yang uses Tierney in the overlap, gets the cross in, it's to the back end of the box. There was nobody in green and white, but Donovan's going to get onto it on this near side, rolls it back to Trusty. The home fans ain't happy here.
I tell you, if Celtic can go and get the next goal here,
absolutely,
this place will be toxic for the Feyenoord players.
Absolutely. It's McGregor out to Trusty. Trusty then forward to McCowan. Doesn't really get enough on it to force it forward to Engels, and Valente picks up for the hosts and then moves it into the midfield, and now there's an opportunity for Targaline to drive forward. Now he's found Stein inside the centre circle. Swivels and turns it out to that right hand side for Latomba. Away from Maida. Back to Targaline. Out to that right touchline for Musa. Now Latombo. He goes down. It's a good challenge there. Really good challenge. Celtic win it back through Maida, and now driving forward it's McGregor. Cross halfway, infield to Hatate. Hatate has got McGregor still out in the touchline. Right up the pitch here, but level with the 18-yard line. Hatate onto it, moves it infield to Engels. Walking pace here, and the Feyenoord supporters are quite right to question their players not trying to get in about the Celtic.
They've just dropped back into a shape.
Possession, yeah.
Without even trying to win the ball back. Latombo was out of position, and maybe it was a case of just, close up ranks and make it difficult, but they are getting nowhere near Celtic at the minute.
It's out with the left-hand side for Yang, infield to Hatate. Rolls it back to Scales, shuffles away from Stein and finds Hatate. And then shift it with the right foot to the right-hand side of the centre circle for Trusty. This all happening in the Feyenoord half here, albeit Trusty's being forced back the way, no route forward. Passes it to Scales, now McGregor in the centre circle to Engels and then to Trusty. Trusty then out with the left foot to McCowan on the right touchline, infield to Engels. Again, it's good play by Celtic. Knocking it about with confidence, and calmness.
So calm, measured. And this is why they've passed now into Engels and drive at the back line.
Oh, he's been brought to the ground by Targaline. He's going to go into the book here, and Celtic have a free kick with 25 yards from goal, left to centre.
Feyenoord have a player down, I think it's Sauer.
They just look a little bit lethargic, the home team. That's brilliant news for Celtic.
Absolutely. Look, I think the atmosphere in here is clearly, because of the partial closure of the stadium, has certainly had an impact, but you can still, it's a crowd that are waiting to be driven on by the players on the pitch, and they're not getting that. They're not getting the chance to go and really get behind them. You can feel it when they're starting to go towards a Celtic goal, that there is this excitement, anticipation, but they're waiting to see something from their team, and they're not seeing it at the minute. It's been such a comfortable game for Celtic so far.
And certainly since half-time, when you're expecting Feyenoord to go full tilt to try and find that equaliser and go on and win the match, because a home point against a team from Scotland is nowhere near enough for them tonight.
No, it's not. As I said, whether they're in a bad run of form or not, and it's the way that Scottish football is viewed, that this is seen as being, it should be an easy win for Feyenoord. Given that, a couple of seasons ago in the Champions League they won here 2-0, and I know that Celtic won the game at Celtic Park, but even then I still didn't think, this is an outstanding Feyenoord team. But they have the belief and the arrogance, and it's not, I don't mean that in a bad way, that they should never be losing to Celtic here. That's their feeling. There's nothing wrong with that, but they're certainly not showing that in their performance. So they'll be extremely disappointed in how they've performed so far tonight. There's still a long way to go, and they could very well get the victory, but up until this point they've been really poor.
Captain Stein's over talking to Van Persie during that stoppage for Zauer, who's being helped off the pitch over on the far side. I think Celtic might be going to their bench here. Feyenoord are most certainly going to have to do that themselves. Zauer is going to have to come off, so he is injured. And the dugouts are on the other side, not sure who's coming on for Celtic, who have this free kick opportunity. And Arne Engels is over it. He's the only candidate. Right-footed from Engels, and Gillen Reuter throws himself to his left and holds on, and it stays Feyenoord 1, Celtic 2.
Yeah, it's an awkward one for the goalkeeper. He goes, it's a big wall, there's not a lot of space for him to get up and over the wall because where the goalkeeper stood, so he goes to try and fire it round the ball, which he does, just skids off the surface a little bit, and Gillen Reuter, you have to say, does really well to keep it in his hands, because it was, I think Maida was, closest shot, that he was the closest to getting on the rebound if he spilt it. But it's a good save for the goalkeeper.
58 and a half played. Celtic with this 2-1 lead. Feyenoord currently down to 10 men. Zauer's off injured and they haven't made the sub yet. Sub didn't seem to be ready. And it's Feyenoord in possession here, and it's Ahmedhodzic forward to Ueda and Lutombo out to that right hand side as they try and work away through. Musa up to the edge of the box for Ueda. Celtic players swarming around him and winning it back well. There's Callum McGregor, infield to Hatate. First time low ball to the right for Donovan. Moves up towards the halfway line. Forward to McCowan, who's back to Trusty. And it's square to Scales. As long as Celtic have the ball, Feyenoord can't hurt them. They protect this lead. And Kasper Schmeichel's not been making save after save tonight.
No, and look, I think that Feyenoord started this second half real purposefully to try and press Celtic and try and win it back high up the pitch, but in the last 5 or 10 minutes they've just dropped so far off them and allowed the ball to come, you know, Scales to Trusty, into McGregor, into Engels, into Hatate, and they haven't really tried to put that pressure on. It's almost like they're waiting for Celtic to make a mistake rather than trying to force the mistake.
Hatate infield to McGregor. Celtic have enjoyed huge spells of possession in the second half. We've gone beyond the hour mark now. Callum McGregor infield to Scales in the Feyenoord half. Bends it out to that left hand side, and it's with Kieran Tierney. He got it from Yang, back to Scales, forward to Yang, to Scales, now to McGregor. Remember the last time I saw Celtic enjoy so much possession in an away European match.
Yeah. And look, they should just keep a hold of it, because Feyenoord can't make this up until the ball goes out of play, and they've no desire to get it back.
Scales up towards the edge of the Feyenoord box here, rolls it out wide left for Yang. He's got space to cross. It's infield to Tierney, back to Scales. Celtic are going to make a change. I think Benjamin Nygren's going to be coming on for them. It's Trusty for Celtic, out to McCowan, infield to Trusty, and then McGregor to Scales. It's bizarre what I'm seeing from Feyenoord.
That is so strange. I mean, look, Ueda's just fouled Scales, and it's probably not a bad decision, because they were never winning the ball back. Celtic were just knocking it about like a training session against mannequins.
Absolutely incredible. Just standing there, statuesque. Anyway, here come the changes, and the first one sees Gausu Diarra come on to replace the Slovakian Zauer. And they're going to make a second change as well. Just waiting to see who's going to come off. It's Gus Small who's going to be replaced. And Celtic will make their change as well. And as I said, it looks like it's going to be Nygren, as a bit of a Feyenoord stalwart comes on in the shape of Bart Newcock. And the Celtic change, McCowan off, and Nygren will come on, James McFadden.
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously going to go and play out in that right hand side, Nygren, and he's done it before. I think McCowan is actually, without playing outstanding, I think he's played the position well, because he's been high, he's taken the ball, he's worked hard defensively. But Nygren's just a little bit of fresh legs. I know that's not his position, but he can play there. But it's important that he maintains the width and be brave to go high up the pitch. He loves to come into that left foot, but I think he needs to try and continue to stretch the game. But Feyenoord now trying to win the ball back, but to no avail. And look at Yang, the spaces in.
And he's driving down the left hand side is Yang. Support arriving in the middle. It's good play by Yang. Looks up, pulls it across, and it bobbles behind for the corner. Celtic trying to hunt down an incredible third goal here. They might even seal the points just now, because Feyenoord are all over the place. 63 played, Celtic leading 2-1.
They are, and on that occasion they tried to press. Musa has come off the side to try and press. Celtic just play it round them, but Yang is in acres of space down the left hand side. Celtic's left, Feyenoord's right, and he does really well. Drives forward, gets across, and Engels makes a late run, gets something on it, but it's defended well. But so easy for Celtic at the minute. It won't stay like this. You will see a reaction at some point from Feyenoord, so you feel that they maybe have to capitalise on these good moments.
Engels with the corner, in swinger with the right foot on top of the goalkeeper, who pats it away with both hands, and then Stein clears. Wow. Picked up here by Donovan, almost uncontested. Big switch out to the far side is won by a Feyenoord head this time, and it goes out of him and out for a Celtic throw-in.
I didn't expect to see this from Feyenoord tonight, because you know we always know the Dutch sides are technically very good, and you know that they can handle the ball, but Celtic with the corner, the ball comes back to Stein on the edge of the box, he just puts it up the park straight to Donovan. No interest in bringing it down, trying to maybe build something, and they don't really have those options. It's strange. I didn't expect to see this level of performance from Feyenoord.
And they've got it to the home team over on the far side with Hamid Hodzic. And he turns it back infield to Watanabe. They made those two changes, so see if they'll have any kind of effect on the performance of the home side, as Luciano Valente picks up on this near side. Does have support from Lutomba. It's passed back to Watanabe, and then Hamid Hodzic out to that right hand side with Nykope coming on. Lutomba's come to this left hand side. This is a brilliant play from the former. So he drove down the right hand side, and it goes out of play for a throw into Feyenoord, but you can hear the roar from the supporters. It was a bit better there down that far side. Musa was involved, and first time we've really seen him in the second half driving at that Celtic defence, as the ball eventually breaks into the Celtic box and back into the grateful gloves of Kasper Schmeichel. 65 played, Feyenoord 1, Celtic 2.
Yeah, I mean, Musa looks like he can create something out of nothing. He's got wonderful left foot, the balance, step over, driving on the right, back onto his left, but just not seen anywhere near enough of it. Not that I want to see any more of it, to be honest, but it's just strange that, you know, the ability that he has, that they haven't got him on the ball at all this second half.
It's knocked out to this left hand side for Diarra, who's not long on. Shifts it infield and picked up here by Targaline, but given away again. But so too by Hatate, who got onto it, but his pass out wide left has evaded his teammate Yang, and out for a Feyenoord throw-in over on that far side.
Yeah, Yang does really well, anticipates it, wins the ball back. He's playing the 1-2, and Hatate does the right thing, because it looks like Yang's going to run into the space. He starts, then he stops. The pass is there, and it's the chance is gone.
Chance to the edge of the box here. Valente, it's a dreadful effort, and he doesn't catch it at all well, and it comes all the way through to Schmeichel. He didn't even have to use his gloves, he just took a touch with his foot. Yeah. Such was the weakness of the shot.
I don't know what happened there. It looked like he was just going to step on and go for power. I don't know if it didn't drop the way he wanted it, or there was a slight hesitation and, you know, caught in two minds of whether to go for the strike or maybe go for the side foot. In the end, it's the old shin roller almost, and just comfortable for Kasper Schmeichel, but it was a big opportunity for them. Certainly it put Schmeichel under a little bit of pressure, forced him to make a save, but he just trundles to what I think even if Schmeichel leaves it, probably doesn't even reach the goal.
Hatate with an up and under, which comes all the way through to the Feyenoord goalkeeper Vellenreuter. If you're heading to Ibrox or to Pittodrie, brief team news from those games. Rangers playing Braga in the Europa League. Butland, Tavernier, Giga, Fernandez, Aarons, Diamonde, Raskan, Barron, Danilo, Gassama and Sharmiti. The Aberdeen team to play Noah in the Conference League. Mitov, Lobben, Devlin, Kanuster, Milne, Jensen, Aushish, Povara, Carlson, Keskinen, Nisbet. Full coverage of those matches to come on BBC Radio Scotland, kicking off at 8. So just under 50 minutes until those matches get underway, and more considered team lineups will come once we're done here in Rotterdam. Game on again here, Celtic leading 2-1 in the Europa League on Sports Sound. Feyenoord pick up a loose ball out of defence by Celtic, and it's slipped through. Chance here for Stein, he goes after it, comes off Schmeichel, and then bundled half away by Scales, who gets a bonus by finding Hatate. He's now found Nygren. There's just a sense in the last few minutes Feyenoord have upped the ante here, but it's still 2-1 Celtic.
Yeah, and it's Musa at the heart of it again, coming off the right hand side. Great balance, great, you know, he gets his head up. It's a lovely weighted pass. Schmeichel does really well actually, close the angle off.
Diarra, Maida trying to win it back, but it's broken to Diarra and then picked up by Targaline. Out to that right hand side, Musa chasing after it, trying to get onto the return pass. It didn't ever come though, and it's out for a Feyenoord throw in off a Celtic boot over on the far side. Getting close to the final 20 minutes here. It's incredible actually, because for most of the second half, up until 5 minutes ago, the play was in the Feyenoord half. Now it's all in Celtic territory, given away though by the home side. There might be a foul there by Nygren. The referees can allow Feyenoord an advantage, and it's a long ball from Watanabe up towards the edge of the Celtic box. Scales heads it back to Schmeichel, who gathers, and it stays Feyenoord 1, Celtic 2.
Yeah, they've certainly upped the tempo, Feyenoord. They have looked, as if they're more intent to go and try and attack Celtic, but the one thing I would say is that they are going forward, they're probably over-committing bodies, which you would expect, and if Celtic win it back, they can get beyond the Feyenoord midfield and potentially catch them on the break, so they're going to have to take a bit of pressure here, there's no doubt.
Change for Celtic here. Kieran Tierney is going to be replaced by Dane Murray, and Yang's coming off as well, and it will be, probably hear it in the background, Tenekti who will replace him. Yang scoring the equalising goal, and you would imagine that would give him a great deal of confidence, because we don't know what the best of Yang is, but whatever it is, I don't think we've seen it yet.
No, we haven't, but I think the goal, yes, I think his performance has been good. You can see, a player that sometimes you just need that goal to feel as if you're part of it, and his willingness to run in behind, again, his work rate. I know you want to see eye-catching stuff off of your forward players, but the work rate's been really good. But now, Celtic going to a back three, which then, Tenekti's almost playing as the wing back then in this system, unless it's actually just Scales to left back and a back four. It is.
Yeah, it might be that.
Yeah, I think it is.
Murray just to the right of Trusty. Feyenoord in possession with Musa over on the far side, rolls it back down the line. Ahmed Hodzic into Watanabe, short ball there for Valente, slides it through to Musa. It's a good pass, right hand side, looking for the overlapping run here, and then an important challenge by Liam Scales, and it's going to go behind for a Feyenoord corner over there on the far side. The Dutch side's right, 71 on the clock, 2-1 to Celtic. Feyenoord corner. The supporters try to get behind their team here. They have been better since Van Persie's changes. In swinger with the left foot, swirling into the box, the header towards goal is flicked behind there by McGregor. I think it might have been going wide anyway, but Callum McGregor wasn't to know that, and it's another corner.
Yeah, you're right, he's not to know, he can't take the chance. I think it was going wide, but it's a decent cross, decent header. But it's interesting they've changed the Tierney, take Tierney off and almost shifted the back four then across, because Musa looked like he was starting to come into the game. Also the work rate from Yang, Tenekti's going to have to be doing a lot more defending and attacking.
Another Feyenoord corner, again it's an in-swinger, again it comes into that 6-yard box. Schmeichel gets it half away, opportunity and deflected wide. They're claiming another corner, and the referee's going to give them their wish. Well, that looked as though it was ricocheting past Schmeichel. He was absolutely rooted.
Yeah, they just can't get the ball clear now, Celtic. It's a good spell for Feyenoord, but it'd be good for Celtic if they can see it out and regain the control of the game.
Another Musa corner coming up here. From the Feyenoord right, the Celtic supporters up in the heavens behind that goal, hoping this doesn't come to anything. It's another good delivery, it's half away, there's another shot, it's blocked. It was a decent enough hit that time by Latomba. Musa has it on the right, taking on McGregor. It's a little chip ball, a header off the bar! Off the bar, and Celtic still can't get it away as they howl for a handball in the box. There's cups of beer or juice being thrown towards the pitch now in frustration from the Feyenoord supporters as Schmeichel gathers. It stays 2-1 to Celtic, but they're living more of a charmed life right now, the Scottish champions.
Yeah, they are, and Feyenoord, great deliveries, managing to keep it alive, forcing a little bit of panic in the Celtic box. They have to try get control of this game again, because that will certainly give Feyenoord a lift, that they can go and get the equaliser, potentially get the winner from a position you had to say 10 minutes ago looked so unlikely.
That was a fabulous header though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Brilliant header. And that's all in the delivery. You know, you said earlier when Stein went over and trying to rile the crowd up, then he just crosses it away out the other side.
Here's a chance for Celtic on the counter. Tenekte trying to gather left hand side of the box. There's options in the area here for Celtic. It's a really important challenge. He waited too long before shooting. Breaks to Hatate at the edge of the box. He loses it. Now it's with Donovan. Celtic now looking for a goal up the other end. It's Benjamin Nygren. Back to the edge of the area for Engels. Out to Donovan. His low ball in is cut out. And it bounces back the way. And Arne Engels is onto it. What a chance that was for Tenekte.
Yeah, it's a big chance, and he's got to do so much better. I think his first touch, he's trying to take that inside across the defender. It goes to his left hand side, and then when he cuts in on his right, he needs to square it to Nygren. Nygren's come off the right hand side. He's at acres of space. He's got a chance to then just step onto it and get a shot at goal, and he's just waiting for that perfect moment, Tenekte, to get his shot away instead of getting his head up and laying that off to Nygren. It was a big opportunity, and it would have ended the game.
Fell by Dane Murray meantime in the midfield as Feyenoord make another change here. It might be Quinton Timber who's coming on, and Valente is coming off, and it is Timber. It doesn't sound as though that's received universal approval from the supporter. Maybe it is, because they're wagging their fingers at Valente. They don't seem happy with him. So the boos weren't for the change per se, they were for the player himself by the looks of that. And a little reaction from Valente to the home supporters too.
Yeah, it is strange. Normally the boos are for the actual substitution, not the substitute. But clearly, Feyenoord fans unhappy with Valente.
He's another who's just made his Dutch international debut. Here come the home team again down the right hand side. It's Musa at the right angle of the box. He's got space to shoot, then he drills it wide. Tried to catch Schmeichel off guard there. Might well have had his near post covered in any case. There's plenty behind that. We're in the final 15 of the 90 here, and it is Feyenoord 1, Celtic 2 still.
Yeah, I mean, Musa has been the one that's tried to create for Feyenoord this second half, and he is. You see, he's a good player. He can go either way. Clearly wants to go into the left foot, but he's so sharp. Great, shifting his weight to go left or right. But it did look like Schmeichel that covered. He goes down and kind of covers the angle, and he's never really troubled from it. But just because he's not troubled from that one doesn't mean it's not giving Musa a lift and giving Feyenoord a lift to get him on the ball.
He's had his say tonight as well, Kasper Schmeichel. That outstanding save with his foot in the first half from Ueda. And Celtic would have been in deep trouble had that gone in.
Yeah.
Perhaps certainly wouldn't have had the platform to not only level but turn the game in their favour, and it's remained that way. Cedreo Hatate side-footed into the empty net from the edge of the box as we move towards half-time. They are, James, now 13 minutes plus stoppages away from one of their great modern-day European results.
Yeah, absolutely, and performances. You have to say they've had so much control in the game. Still a long time to see it out, but you need to take better care of the ball tonight.
Yeah, Tenekte gave it away, and then a cynical foul by Engels, who goes into the book. There's a little look at Tenekte. The reason he had to make that challenge was Sebastian Tenekte. So whilst Engels was yellow carded, it's Tenekte who was punished in many ways as well there.
Yeah, he's got to be stronger, Tenekte, when it comes up. It's too easily brushed off the ball. And Engels, I feel like that's, in that moment, it feels like it's the right decision, a good decision to make the foul, because Feyenoord are then on the counter, but they've shown that they can be a threat from these set plays, particularly corner kicks. But the delivery's good, they've got good attackers, aggressive, and pressure that Celtic don't really need.
Celtic roaring well into the top 24 in the as it stands table, albeit this is one of the early kickoffs obviously. Stein with a free kick for Feyenoord, drifted into the box, headed away by Trusty. Leaks to Timber, just shifts it to his left hand side for Latomba. And it's moved back into Targaline. Then Stein on the right hand side, long ball flicked forward but comes all the way through harmlessly to Kasper Schmeichel of Naukoop.
Yeah, I think overall for the performance, a win here tonight would be huge. But you also look at Rome at home, Bologna away as the next two games, two very tough games. Of course, they've shown if they can reach these levels of performance, then they can still get something from them. But what a boost it would give them if they could manage to hold on and get the victory here tonight.
Take them on to the 7-point mark. As I said, 10 points was enough for 3 sides last season. It wasn't enough for 2 of them who missed out on goal difference. But you get to 7 with 3 games left, you've got a almighty chance of getting onto that golden 11-point mark, assuming that would be enough. It's the Tornban this near side for Feyenoord. Down the line it comes. It's with Diarra. He's going to get it back down the left. Diarra chasing it. Good slide challenge there by Colby Donovan. And then I think Diarra left a little bit on Donovan after that. The referee's coming over to have a word with Diarra after that challenge. It's a Celtic ball, and it's a Celtic lead here in Rotterdam, and we are just about to cross into the final 10 minutes as Feyenoord prepared to bring on for a debut the manager's son, Shaquille Van Persie.
I'll tell you,
debut.
Yeah, I'll tell you, looking at him standing there, he's got the same stature as his father. Feyenoord will be hoping they can play like his father, but certainly he looks, he's absolutely spit. Just seeing him running on the pitch as well.
I wonder if his left foot's as good as his dad's was.
I doubt it. I doubt it. He'd be going some way to have as good a left foot as his dad, but it's very depressing, Liam. I'm commentating on a guy that I played against, son. That's, you know, you just reminded in these occasions that you're old now, and playing football was a long time ago.
Yeah, the circle of life. Here comes Celtic with a rear 40 forward, certainly in the last 50 minutes or so, and they've got a throw in as well. Nygren is going to leave for Donovan. Feyenoord 1, Celtic 2, and we are now in the closing stages of the match. Celtic are going to bring on Anthony Ralston.
Well, Colby Donovan and that challenge with Diarra, he got off and he was struggling a little bit.
It's been excellent tonight.
Yeah, he has. I think that, you know, that partnership with McCowan's been good. The work rate both of them have put in.
Here is Donovan down the right hand side of the box, low ball across, might break to Nygren, chance. Oh, it's in! Nygren scores it off the underside of the bar. Seismic goal for Celtic, who have just got into a 2-goal lead in the closing stages in Rotterdam. And now, as the Celtic players go over to the management team on the far side, are now just minutes away from one of their greatest European away results. The scoreline in De Kuip with 8 minutes to play is Feyenoord 1, Celtic 3. That seemed to be in slow motion.
Yeah, well, that should be it. I mean, you were just praising Colby Donovan's performance. He does brilliant down the right hand side, little shimmy onto the right foot, fires a low cross. Who is on the end of it? Dyson Maeda, not giving up. And when he laid it back to Nygren, who's just off the angle at the right hand side, I thought he was going to hit it first time, and I thought the chance potentially had gone. He takes a touch and just reverses it high in off the underside of the bar. Colby Donovan getting a little bit of treatment here, but what a goal that is again from Celtic. Great play coming from Donovan down the right hand side, and that should surely be it now for Celtic.
You would think so, but we've seen some crazy things in football very recently as well. Celtic, I think, are going to make a double change here. Donovan, who was about to be taken off anyway, having been injured, yet he managed to get himself into that position as Rio Hatate comes off and is replaced by Paulo Bernardo, and it will be Ralston for Donovan in the other change. But Celtic lead 3-1 here in the Netherlands, a team that hasn't won any of their last 15 away European matches, dating back to a win over Ferencváros in 2021. We've only won 5 group stage / league phase away games out of 66. They were odds against tonight, but my goodness, they've turned up. They've turned up and some. And Feyenoord have simply not had an answer. They've been sluggish, there's no doubt the Dutch team have been sluggish, but that's to take nothing away from this vibrant Celtic performance. They've been excellent defensively all the way through the team, and they've taken their chances when they've come along.
Absolutely, this has been such a strong display from Celtic, a real confident display, so much control in the game. And okay, Feyenoord the last 10-15 minutes have really tried to put the pressure on, and they have looked dangerous, they've hit the bar, but they've not really forced Kasper Schmeichel into any saves where you think, oh, that's an outstanding save in that period. Of course he made a brilliant save in the first half, but it's been such a mature performance from a team that you can tell are enjoying it, can tell, believe that they can go and play their own way in this, at times intimidating stadium. It hasn't been tonight, and it's been, one of the best performances I've seen from Celtic in an away European game for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, you think of the wins that they have managed to muster on the road. Spartak Moscow in the Champions League, Anderlecht in the Champions League, win at Rosenborg in this tournament, Ferencváros. They're like hen's teeth as Feyenoord with a ball into the box looking for young Van Persie. Can't get on to the end of it, and it comes right through to Schmeichel as we approach the 85th minute mark. Not long for Celtic to hold out now. But it does. I mean, this goes into the annals of Celtic's European history. It's right up there. It is right up there. This is a team that's won the European Cup, of course, and got to other European finals, but as far as standalone results are concerned, this is right up there as McGregor is yellow card, and it's going to be a Feyenoord free kick just beyond the midway point of the Celtic half, just slightly left the centre.
I tell you, he's not as tall as his dad, but it is just like watching a young Robin Van Persie. The way he runs, he hasn't touched the ball yet, so I'll reserve judgment on his technical ability, but certainly how he moves, it's just the absolute same as his dad.
Important for Celtic not to concede here, because then it would be the grandstand finish as Stein takes the free kicks, headed away comfortably by Ralston. It's a bit bizarre again. As Feyenoord clipped it in the box, didn't seem desperate to get in the end of it. It's headed away by Scales as it comes back in. Then Bernardo doing a good job defensively. Engels stabbing it out to that left-hand side. That's surely a foul in Tenecti there. A little pull in the jersey. The ref didn't spot it, or at least didn't think there was enough in it. It was out for a Feyenoord throw-in on that far side. Down the right flank comes Ahmed Odzic. Right to Musa. Down about level with the penalty spot of Celtic as it goes behind for a goal kick. And it's come off the Feyenoord player last. Feyenoord 1, Celtic 3. The Celtic supporters in ecstasy up in that top tier under the roof here at the Kuyp.
Yeah, singing away, jumping up and down. No wonder. I mean, this has been such a good display from Celtic. This isn't a team that you feel are stealing points here. This is a team that have come here, dominated the game, played it their way, looked really comfortable, and go away with, if it stays the same, with not even a flattering scoreline, a deserved victory from a really strong, really good Celtic display here tonight.
Schmeichel just clearing his studs on the post as he launches this goal kick forward with the right foot. 87 played, 3-1 Celtic, and Ahmed Hodzic got away with one there with Nygren putting the pressure on the edge of his own box. There's Diarra, a little flick in field, but it's Bernardo getting in the way. And then headed back by Timber, and he's lost out, and Engels puts it out for a Feyenoord throw-in on this near side. They're showing a little bit more urgency now, the Feyenoord players, but you think that they're too far back at this point.
Look, you never know in football, Liam. We've seen some crazy things happen, but yeah, you're right. The urgency to go and pick the ball up and throw it back into play and play quick and get the ball forward probably should have been the approach from half-time. They waited and waited. There was a little bounce midway through the half, but it's shown nearly enough to show that they can get back into the game. Of course, we know football.
Cross into the box is flicked on by Van Persie, and it comes right through to Schmeichel. Two players there at the opposite ends of their careers. Van Persie, 19 years of age, making his Feyenoord debut tonight. Kasper Schmeichel there at the age of 38, He launches it forward, it's right through to Watanabe, gets a touch onto it, forces it forward into the Celtic half. Scales back facing his own goal, rolls it back to his keeper, and Schmeichel just rifles that one high off the pitch over off the stand on the far side, and it will be a Feyenoord throw-in, which they've taken very quickly. We're about to go into the 90th minute. Celtic leading 3-1. Remember, Rangers Braga, Aberdeen Noah to come in the Europa League and Conference League respectively. 8 o'clock kickoffs. There's a ball in from now Cope, which is headed clear. Breaks to Watanabe just outside the centre circle. He'll roll it to Ahmed Hodzic on that right hand side. He'll find Musa up against Tenekti. Musa's managed to get the cross ball in. It's headed clear by Trusty. One back over there by Targaline. Over to Ahmed Hodzic, gets his cross in. It's cleared by Scales again. The quality just hasn't been there from a Feyenoord point of view. Certainly not what we were expecting to see, despite losing their last 3 in a row. We expected to see better from them tonight, but Celtic have dealt with this game expertly.
Yeah, they have. I have been disappointed, Feyenoord, but you know, it's a team not in great form, but you have to credit Celtic for the performance, the control they've shown.
It's a good ball in on the left, but it's headed out high over the bar. There it was decent from Diarra. Caused a little bit of a panic. Schmeichel came out, but it's been headed well over, and it stays Feyenoord 1, Celtic 3.
Yeah,
into the stoppage time here, which is 4 minutes.
I mean, Feyenoord have worked into wide areas, put crosses in, haven't been able to. If they get on the end of it, it's not enough purchase on it, because Celtic have defended them well. But I just think that, you know, this Celtic performance, you contrast that to St Mirren, which is totally a different challenge. But the Midtjylland game, from that to this, is a remarkable turnaround. They've went behind in the game tonight, and so often we've seen Celtic not be able to get control, but they've had so much control in this game.
There's a chance down the right for Musa. He's gone down. He's not getting the free kick that he was hoping for, as he punches the pitch in frustration as he gets back to his feet. And it's going to be a Celtic goal kick only. A joyous night for the Scottish champions, and they'll celebrate all right in the streets of Rotterdam this evening. Those who've made the journey, the thousands of them, who are having a rare time and what will be a rare result for them on the road on the continent. There's a chance for Ueda to get onto the ball on this near side, back to Timber, looks to slip it through to Van Persie. He's done enough to get it to Stein. He's going to break back to Van Persie, left hand side, delicate ball to the back post, it's headed into the side net, and that sums up the Feyenoord fans' night. They cannot believe they've not scored there. And it stays Feyenoord 1, Celtic 3, and we have played almost 2 of the 4 minutes of additional time.
Yeah, he's got a not bad left foot, Shaquille Van Persie, because that is a lovely ball, just clipped to the back post. The way that gets up, I think if it goes in, it's going to be ruled out, because I think he heads it onto his hand. But how he's missed from that position, I'll never know. I'll tell you what, I've enjoyed the little cameo from Shaquille Van Persie. He does look like his dad. He does look like he's a talent.
Yeah, absolutely. And his dad was being asked about, was he doing his son favours by involving him in the first team here, but he said that apparently when Shaquille Van Persie was in the youth team and Robin Van Persie was in charge of the youth team here, Shaquille had said to him, I don't want to be treated any differently when we are out on the training pitch. I'm just another player. And he reiterated that this week in the build-up to having him on the bench for the first time at the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you can't help. You can help in the short term by giving an opportunity potentially when it isn't deserved, but in the long term, you're never going to help them. And I would imagine, I believe Robin Van Persie when he says that, because that's the way you have to be. You don't get very far when things are handed to you. You have to work for it. And I actually hazard a guess that he's probably harder on his son than other players because of that, for that reason. But certainly the little touches you get to see, he does look like he's going to be a good player. Looks like he's already a good player.
And ticking through the final minute of stoppages here. Celtic so close now. Nygren rolls it back to Ralston. They're right up the pitch, deep inside the Feyenoord half, trying to run the clock down here. Maida has put it out for a Feyenoord throw-in down by their own corner flag, but it's just about time up here. About 15 seconds left. Nygren is on the ground, and the referee wants to speak to one or two players. Nygren has been spoken to as well. There's the sub Diarra. The Celtic fans sensing their full-time whistle is coming, and the referee has the whistle between his lips, and he blows for full-time. And it's a wonderful, wonderful night for Celtic. They've just breathed all kinds of life into their Europa League campaign with one of their best away European results, certainly in the modern era. And they had to come from an Ueda goal down to do it, turning the game in their favour before half-time. Yang Hyun-jun stabbing home at the back post to make it 1-1 before Reo Hatate capitalised on an error from the goalkeeper, who'd been put under pressure by Maida, gifted it to Hatate at the edge of the box, who rolled it into the empty net to give Celtic a 2-1 half-time lead. And that would become a 3-1 lead in the second half, as Benjamin Nygren, after a brilliant ball in by the impressive Donovan, thundered it off the underside of the bar. It bounced down not once but twice, and eventually over the line. And Celtic knew at that point that it would be a victory, and a much needed victory as well. It takes them on to the 7-point mark, and their dreams of going through to the knockouts have just received a massive shot in the arm here in Rotterdam. A magnificent result, a magnificent performance at the end of the day as well. And if that's to be Martin O'Neill's last European action as Celtic manager, well, they've just recreated to the scoreline one of his most famous nights when they beat Ajax 3-1 up the road in Amsterdam. They've repeated the trick in De Kuip tonight, and I'm sure it'll be an emotional moment for O'Neill himself. But the Celtic supporters celebrate a famous triumph, because it finished here in the Netherlands in the Europa League on match day 5. Feyenoord 1, Celtic 3.
Celtic in the UEFA Europa League.
Live on Sports Sound
from BBC Radio Scotland.